The Aeonic realm in the Septuagint, a Valentinian interpretation of Aion. This study examines the Greek term Aion as it appears in the Septuagint and reinterprets it through the lens of Valentinian Christian Gnosticism. Rather than understanding Aion as merely age or eternity, the Valentinian perspective recognizes Aion as a divine realm or emanation, an Aeon within the Pleroma, the fullness of the divine composed of atoms in its highest, most subtle form. Understanding Aion in Valentinian cosmology. In Valentinian thought, the Pleroma consists of a series of aeons, divine attributes or emanations flowing from the ultimate source, the father or depth, Bythos. These aeons, often paired as complementary masculine and feminine principles, constitute both the divine realm and the process by which the divine becomes manifest through atoms in physical configuration. The term Aion thus transcends a mere temporal notion. It embodies a cosmic reality, a refined material domain inhabited by divine principles configured in atomic form. When the Septuagint uses Aion, Valentinian interpretation invites us to see it as a reference to these realms or to the inner divine presence in humanity, rather than simply as time or eternity. Lamentations 5:19, Aeonic continuum. Lamentations 5:19 pronounces, "Thou, O Yahweh, to the age remainest, thy throne to generation and generation." The word translated age is Aion, and here it denotes divine enthronement within an Aeonic continuum. This throne is not located within ordinary temporality, but within the order of the Aeons, unchanging, stable, and filled with purpose. From a Valentinian lens, this passage affirms the eternal sovereignty of the divine, not in chronological perpetuity, but in spatial temporal fullness. The throne is an image of divine rulership exercised through the Aeons, and its endurance from generation to generation is not mere succession, but reflects the dynamic operation of Aeonic power bridging the Pleroma and the natural world, which are both composed of atoms in different states. Psalm 104:5-6, LXX 103:5-6, Aeonic foundation and the flood. Psalm 104:5-6, foot 5-6 states, "Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be moved forever? You covered it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains." The word forever is again Aion. From a Valentinian view, this grounding of creation in the Aion means that the cosmos is not divorced from the divine, but rooted in a hidden correspondence with the Aeonic order. Contrary to traditions that depict the cosmos as lower or separate, this perspective affirms that the Pleroma is not detached from the natural world. The Pleroma is part of the universe itself. It constitutes the world of dark matter, hidden yet foundational, and structured by arrangements of atoms of a higher order. The foundations here correspond to the Aeonic structure that upholds creation. From a Valentinian viewpoint, the earth and cosmos are sustained by the emanations of the Aeons. The deep waters can be seen as the chaotic realm beneath the order of the Aeons, symbolizing the primordial chaos before divine organization. This passage points to the Aeons as cosmic architects, sustaining the visible world while operating within it as the deeper unseen reality, a reality built of atoms, both visible and invisible. Isaiah 57:15, the Aeonic dwelling of the Most High. Isaiah 50:15 states, "Thus says the Most High, who dwells on high, in the Aion, holy among the holies is his name. The Most High resting in the holies, giving patience to the faint in spirit, and giving life to the brokenhearted." From the Valentinian perspective, the Aion here signifies a divine Aeonic realm, a realm of holiness in the Pleroma where the Most High dwells. The Most High is not remote, but present within this Aeonic fullness, resting among the holies, a symbolic description of the Aeons themselves. This is the atomic dwelling of divine Aeons, from which incorruptible life and patience emanate into the natural world, passing through the matrix of atoms that form both the heavenly and earthly domains. In this way, the passage describes the deity's immanence within the Aeonic structure, an eternal realm of divine activity not cut off from the universe, but integral to it. Through the Aeons, the Most High brings renewal and vitality to those spiritually afflicted in the lower realm, reflecting the mediation of divine energy from within the hidden depths of the cosmos. Ecclesiastes 3:11, the Aion within the heart. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also placed the Aion in their hearts, yet so that no man can find out the work that the deity does from beginning to end. Here, Aion is understood not as external time, but as an inner spiritual Aion or realm placed within human hearts. Valentinian teaching sees this as a reference to the divine imprint or resonance of the Pleroma within human nature. Humans bear within themselves a spark or echo of the Aeonic fullness, a latent potential for reunion with the divine, implanted as a structure composed of atoms arranged for receptivity to divine gnosis. However, this inner Aion remains hidden or obscured due to the fall and ignorance, agnosis. Without gnosis, the physical activation of divine knowledge in the brain through the spirit's atomic configuration, humans cannot comprehend the fullness of the deity's work. This duality of inner divine presence and outer ignorance reflects the human need for awakening, not separation from some higher realm. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 speaks of the Aion placed within human hearts, a hidden divine imprint that connects humanity to a higher, concealed order of structured atomic existence. Yet, this inner Aion remains veiled and inaccessible to many, symbolizing the spiritual seed awaiting awakening. Isaiah 57:15 reveals the other side of this reality, the Aion as the transcendent divine realm where the Most High dwells in holiness and rest. These two realms, the inner and the divine, are not disconnected, but intimately linked through the spirit. However, this spirit is not universally present in all people, but dwells only where the spiritual seed, the word of knowledge, has taken root within the brain. The spirit is not a person, but a configuration of divine atoms, material, incorruptible, and alive, functioning as the connective presence between the Pleroma and the human heart. Thus, the spirit serves as the bridge between the mortal and the divine, awakening the inner Aion and restoring one's connection to the Pleroma. This spiritual connection finds resonance in Psalm 51:17, where the broken and contrite heart is valued above ritual sacrifice. The psalm highlights that genuine openness and humility create the environment where the spirit can dwell. Only in such hearts does the spiritual seed flourish, allowing the spirit to unite the internal Aion with the divine Aion of holiness and life. Therefore, the divine realm's holiness and the inner spiritual realm's awakening are both contingent on the spirit's presence, which transforms the human heart into a dwelling place for the Aeonic fullness, animated by atoms configured for divine reception. Isaiah 60:19-20, Aeonic light and the end of darkness. Isaiah 60:19-20 prophesies, "The sun shall no longer be your light by day, nor for brightness shall the moon give you light, but the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your power will be your glory. Your sun shall no more go down, your moon shall not withdraw itself, for the Lord will be your everlasting Aion, and the days of your mourning shall be ended." This passage contrasts the temporary changing lights, sun and moon, with the everlasting Aeonic light of the deity. Valentinian thought sees the everlasting light as the radiant expression of the Pleroma through glorified, incorruptible atoms emanating from the Aeons, especially the Aion of life or truth shining upon the restored creation, a light composed not of photons alone, but of glorified atoms, not immaterial, but incorruptible and beyond the decay of ordinary matter. The end of mourning signifies the final reconciliation and restoration of the cosmos through the full manifestation of the Aeonic order, where spiritual darkness is dispelled by the permanent divine light, an ultimate Aeonic reality beyond the cycles of natural time. Conclusion. The word Aion, in the Septuagint holds profound theological meaning when viewed through the Valentinian lens. Rather than merely denoting time or eternity, Aion signifies divine Aeonic realms, both Aeonic domains in the Pleroma and inner configurations of the same atomic fullness present within the human heart. These Aeons represent the fullness of divine emanations, the eternal presence of the deity, and the spiritual potential latent in humanity awaiting awakening through gnosis. All of these realms and processes are composed of atoms, whether visible or invisible, coarse or refined. Isaiah 57 verse 15 reveals the deity dwelling in the holy Aeons. Ecclesiastes 3:11 shows the divine Aion hidden within the heart. Lamentations 5 verse 19 and Isaiah 60 point toward the eternal divine reign and light of the Aeons, and the Psalms celebrate the divine order and power sustained by these Aeons. Through this understanding, the Aeon becomes a bridge between the spiritual fullness of the Pleroma and the natural world, illuminating the Valentinian vision of salvation as a journey back to the eternal Aeonic source, a journey grounded in the atomic fabric of creation itself.